Hello, in this video I'm going to go through everything that I've done in week 1 of Inktober. A lot of people seem to think I was doing a video a day. I'm not. Very beginning, just to make myself commit to doing it, and then a video at the end with all of the work. However, this video is just a quick update to show everything that's happened in week 1. So far so good, this week's gone alright. Committed to trying to do a different style every single day. Hopefully you can remember this one. So I was happy with that. Day 2 was this one here. I did a drawing a while ago in oil pastel, trying to look at Francis Becon, the more grotesque elements to his figures, and I think if I could bring that kind of aesthetic into a very simplistic, clean style with just black and white. So I started to work on it. This is a overhead. So one of the reasons I wanted to block it up black is I've been looking at an artist called Hendrik Delahag, again, probably pronounced that wrong, who does these fantastic kind of almost Matisse-inspired figures that kind of distort out and they string out and they come back in again, and often they get really abstract and they're just brilliant. So I was kind of looking to emulate that style a little bit. Yeah, so that's that one. So that's here, so I'm happy with it. You know, and I really enjoyed that, kind of keeping it very tight. So day 3, we have here, I tried to really loosen up, a bit like how Dali does this in some of his figures, but he does them in these kind of, he rotates it up or down, you know, these incredible swirly figures that are just made up of circles. So I wanted to do that, but I was trying to think of a compact thing where I could have figures that were kind of in on each other, and so I decided on wrestling. If I can work out how to put Instagram stories up, I'll put them here. And so you can see how it develops. I'm really happy with the mouth here. And then you can see I even started to do another figure in here before realizing there was really no space and I couldn't do anything with him, so I just hashed him out there. But yeah, I was really happy with that one as well. That was good fun. So this one, this is punting under Magdalen Bridge. So these are all the punts. So we're in Oxford, so punting is a bit like the gondolas, but British. And I wanted to try and do some really clean lines, a bit like Munch does these incredibly nice paint lines that kind of flow. I actually did 5 of these before I was happy with one. So I've got them all here. So I started off with this one and it was just too clean and I didn't like the black, so I scrapped that. And then I got this one here and I really like the trees here, but then I just went overboard on the water, so I was like, screwed that one up. And then on this one, I was really happy with the water, but I felt like it was just a bit too loose. You couldn't really tell the boats weren't divided from the water very well. And so then I went on to this one, and in this one I was happy with the boats. I thought they had a good stacking motion, but everything else lost that loose style. It just looked like I was trying to draw water and bridges and stuff. So then this is another one where I like the bridge and I like the kind of water. I almost got it, and then finally I settled on this one where I think they all came together. So that's the thing you don't normally see. It looks like it's just been done off the cuff, and it hasn't. And then after day 4, I decided to try something a lot grittier, and I've been reading this German expressionism book, which I absolutely love, and this kind of darkness, these kind of figures that are just carrying in on each other, and they're just brilliant. Look at this, look at the terror. I want to do a few more woodcuts, but I thought while we're working in ink I'd try, so I tried it with this one. Super happy with this. And this was a case of almost like a carving, because I was trying to take away with the black paint rather than create. So I actually started with a life drawing I did of this figure crouched over. I cut too much away and he had these tiny little feet. So I just blocked it out, and it was like to see if it would work. And I would say 9 times out of 10 it wouldn't. But here, it helped it. I did a portrait. It's meant to be me. I don't think you can really tell. I found this really hard because, again, cutting away, trying to be more abstract. And I was looking at, there's an artist called Julia who works in Barcelona. I'll put her Instagram up. And she cuts in these figures with elements of, you know, where they fade out or they fade in and there's fragments missing. And these portraits are great. But obviously there's no shading in ink. It's just black. And so I had to do this kind of light brush stroking. And it was really tough. It's a bit kind of Stranger Things-esque. And so I just made up for that the next day by trying to do a picture that was, where's it gone? Really geometrical and sharp, and So I went down to Osney Lock. I saw this guy painting the lock, and I did a pencil drawing of him, which I'm really happy with. And then I tried to do it in ink, and I just couldn't do it. This is what I ended up with. This is the dude. I had done a fair few before this, trying to do him in a more sketchy style. I just couldn't do it. So I thought, right, let's go really geometric. I probably should have stopped a bit sooner, because I don't think this plant base works well. It looked really nice when it was stages of lines. You know, the energy is very much here now. And that was my first week. Today is Monday, so it's the 8th. So I've just done today's one. It looks like I've done it in about 60 seconds. Ta-da! What am I trying to do here? So I've always been really interested in minimal illustration. So I've done it a few times before. I did a really nice one on the metro in Barcelona, and I rarely achieve it. Hopefully you get the sense of two people here at a table. There's like a divide, someone on their own, and there's a waiter clearing or delivering food here. And I think this is the best one. And the reason I say it's the best one is, while it may have taken only 60 seconds to do it, this was the original one. It just looked a bit too illustrational to me. It was a bit too clear that these people were here. So here's a cafe. There's two people sat having a meal here. This is the waiter. And then here's the same thing. But yeah, so I did it over and over and over again. This one was almost the one I went with. But then it was all held together by this head. This head seemed to be very representational of a head, and I wasn't that happy with it. I've been reading a lot about Francis Becon, and one of the things that he talks about is his love of almost irrational marks.
If you think of the great Rembrandt self-portrait in Aix-en-Provence, for instance, and if you analyse it, you will see that there are hardly any sockets to the eyes. That it is almost completely anti-illustrational. If
you look at this guy here, it's quite clear in the context of the rest that it is a figure at a table, but if you zoom in on it, it's really nothing. It's just some squiggles, and that's what I like.
Actual as possible, and at the same time as deeply suggestive or deeply unlocking of areas of sensation other than the simple illustration of the object that you set out to do. Isn't that what all art is about?
And it's what I've tried to do here. But I've got 3 more weeks of ink. I want to keep it up a different style every day. Thank you very much.